This video is about order of operations. This is just a rule that tells us which order to do our operations like subtraction, addition, multiplication and division. This is just how people decided they were going to do it. There's no particular reason why it has to be this way, but this is how it's done. Now you might have heard the word BEDMAS or other similar made-up words like PEMDAS. These are just words to help us remember the order of operations. Let's just have a look at what these words help us remember. So BEDMAS stands for brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So this word just helps us remember that we need to do these operations or work with these things in this order. Exponents is when you've got something like 3 to the power of 2, which means you do 3 times 3. So that would be 9. You may have heard of PEMDAS. This tends to be used in North America. P stands for parentheses. This is just another word for brackets. And the rest of it is pretty much the same. Exponents again, this might be, say, 4 to the power of 3. 3 is the exponent. That would mean 4 times 3. Oops, wouldn't mean that at all. It would mean 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, the 3 tells you that you're multiplying by 4 that many times. Of course, that's not the same as 4 times 3. Something else that you sometimes see that helps you remember the same thing for PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Just as a sentence started with the words starting with the same letters. And there's also BODMAS you might come across, where the O is powers of, which again is exponents, 5 to the power of 2. Of course, this one's a little bit contrived because the O is not the first letter of the words there. You may come across all of those. They all mean exactly the same thing. Now, these are useful to help you remember what operations to do when, but you also have to know how to use it. It's not quite as straightforward as it might seem. So, but I'll explain that in the context of these examples. So we'll look first of all at 8 minus 2 plus 3. 8 subtract 2 plus 3. So the first thing you need to do is look at the operations which are involved in the question. So I have a subtraction and I have an addition. So BEDMAS can help me with this order. Now so there are no brackets, there's no exponents, no division, no multiplication. The first one I come to here is addition, and subtraction's at the very end. Now you have to be very careful here, because one common mistake is that because of the order of these letters, some students think that addition always comes before subtraction. This is not true. Addition and subtraction are kind of together, so you just do them from left to right. So in this case, the first one we will do is the subtraction here. So I underline it, so I'm showing that I know what needs to be done. And then I just write the whole expression again, but working out the bit that I've underlined, the subtraction in this case. So 8 take away 2 is 6. So instead of 8 take away 2, I'll write 6. But I have to write the rest of it, plus 3. 6 plus 3. So I've just written the whole thing again, but I've worked out 8 take away 2. Now I only have one operation to do, 6 plus 3. So my result is 9, and that one's done. Let's go on to another example here. Similar situation. The operations are multiplication and division. So BEDMAS can help me. Brackets, no exponents. There's a division and there's a multiplication. No addition or subtraction. Now division and multiplication they're kind of a group, the same as addition and subtraction are. So again, this does not mean that division is done before multiplication. We do it from left to right, whichever one's first on the left, from the left, division or multiplication, we do that one first. So in this case, we'll do the multiplication first because it's the first one we come to. Underline it, and then I just write out the whole expression again, but working this bit out. So 6 times 4, that's 24, and I still have division by 3. I have to write that. Now I only have one operation, so I just work that out. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Now if I just take another look at the other words to help us remember this, you'll notice that in Bedmas we've got BEDMAS and PEMDAS is PEMDAS. So you can see that the M and the D are opposite ways round here. So that again just illustrates that it doesn't matter, or this does not mean rather, that division is done before multiplication or multiplication is done before division. They're a group, you do it from left to right. Same with addition and subtraction. We have the third example. Now we have an addition and a multiplication here. So going through Bedmas, we have an M for multiplication and A for addition. Now this is where the order matters, because division and multiplication is a group, but they always come before addition and subtraction. So here we have to do the multiplication first. So I'll underline the multiplication. Now be careful what you write here, because you're thinking now 3 times 5. You want to work that out, but you can't forget the 2. You still have to write that. You write the whole expression in the same order, but we're just going to work this thing out here. So what I write is equals 2 plus 3 times 5 is 15. I have to write the 2 plus. Okay, now there's only one operation, so I just work that out, 17. Example 4. It's similar here. We've got getting a bit harder though. We've got 3 operations now. So we have a subtraction, a division, and an addition. Now division and multiplication come before addition and subtraction, so I have to do the division first. I underline the operation and I write the whole expression in the same order, but just working this part out. So I write 10 minus, because I've done absolutely nothing here. I'm only working out 6 divided by 2. And that's 3, that's the 6 divided by 2. And I still have the plus 4 afterwards. So I do that. Now I've got 2 operations. I have to think about the order again. Subtraction and addition. Well, they're both here and they kind of go together, so I just do it from left to right. So my first operation here is subtraction. I underline that. Work that out first. 10 minus 3 is 7. I still have to write plus 4. And notice that my equal signs are coming down in a column. I never have 2 equal signs on the same line. And my final operation, 7 plus 4, that's 11. Okay, now in this example I have an exponent. I have an addition and an exponent. So brackets, no brackets yet. Exponent. So I have to do this first. Okay, exponents always come before division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So the first thing I'm going to do is 5 squared. That means 5 times 5. I still write 1 plus 5 times 5 is 25. Now there's only one operation, so I do that. Equals 26. Question 6. I have subtraction and exponent. Exponents always come before subtraction, so I'll do this one first. So I write 10 minus, because I'm not doing anything with that. 3 squared is 9. And then one operation left, 10 minus 9. Oops, 10 minus 9 is 1. Okay, now we've got some examples with brackets. Now the brackets are the first thing that we deal with. Now some people misunderstand this. They start thinking about doing brackets, which doesn't make any sense at all. What the brackets tells you to do is you have to work out what's inside the brackets first. Okay, so if you have brackets, we work this out first. So normally multiplication we'd do before addition. Normally multiplication would be done before addition, but because the addition is inside the brackets, this makes them more important, gives them a higher priority, so we work out the addition first because they're inside the brackets. So when we do that, we don't need to write the brackets anymore. So 6 plus 3 is 9, and we still have times 2. So we've worked out what's inside the brackets. The rest of it we leave the same. Only one operation left, 9 times 2, 18. Our last example looks a bit complicated. We've got a subtraction, an addition, we've got brackets, we've got another subtraction, we've got an exponent, and we've got multiplication. So there's lots of things going on here. So let's see what BEDMAS tells us to do. Okay, so the B says, first of all, work out what's inside the brackets. So to start with, I'm only looking at this part here. But I've still got two operations here. I've got a subtraction and I've got the exponent. So I go back to BEDMAS and I see that the exponent has to be dealt with before the subtraction. So the first thing I'm going to do here is 4 squared. The rest of it I write out exactly the same. I'm just going to change this part here. I haven't got room to put equals here, so I'm going to use a new line. Everything else is written exactly the same. I'm not doing anything with the 8 or the 3. I've still got the brackets in this case. I'm not touching the 20. The only thing I'm working out is 4 squared. That's 16. I still have multiplication by 5. So I've dealt with the exponent. Now I go back again, see what I've got. Subtraction, addition, brackets, subtraction, multiplication. So brackets have to be dealt with first. Remember, brackets mean do what's inside the brackets first. So I'm still dealing with this bit here. I've dealt with the exponent. Now I have to deal with my last operation inside the brackets. This is a subtraction. So this is what I'm doing now. So 8, not doing anything with that, not doing anything with the 3. I'm doing 20, take away 16, that's 4. I can drop the brackets at this point, and I've got multiplication by 5. Okay, so the brackets have been dealt with. I have 3 operations left, subtraction, addition, multiplication. Multiplication always comes before addition and subtraction, so the next thing I have to do is 4 times 5. I'm not touching the 8, I'm not touching the 3. 4 times 5 is 20. Subtraction and addition left. Now remember, these go together. I just work from left to right. This does not mean addition is done before subtraction. So from left to right, I do the subtraction first. So that's 5. I've got plus 20 there. And I'll just squeeze it in the end here. 5 plus 20 is 25. Right, now the key points, things to remember. Brackets or parentheses in BEDMAS or PEMDAS tell you to work out what's inside the brackets first. It does not tell you to do the brackets. Okay, doing the brackets is meaningless. Second point, division is not always done before multiplication. Division and multiplication are done from left to right. And the third key point, the same is true for addition and subtraction. You do them from left to right.